St. Patrick's Elementary School, and then you also have the St. Patrick's Catholic Church, where Kwame Nkrumah was. The school is where he spent 8 years of elementary school, and right across the street from the school and the church is his family home. And so I'm taking a stroll into the family home to speak with the head of the family to tell us about his memories of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who passed away 50 years ago to this day, and then also to get a sense of what his legacy is, what he means to the family. So stay with me for the next 15 minutes as I have a chat with the head of the family of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Mr. Ezra Yankson. Mr. Ezra Bogoro, good morning.
Morning.
And it's good to have you here, Mr. Ezra Bogoro.
I'm also glad to meet you this morning.
We meet you on a day which is a sad day because you are working on you are commemorating a funeral for somebody who passed recently. But today also is the 50th anniversary of the first president of Ghana, who came from this town, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. What are your thoughts on this day, 27th April?
Okay. Today is a very sad day for me because one of my nieces passed away 3 days ago, and also it has coincided with the death of the first president. I need not to talk too much, but all the same I have to share an idea with you. One thing is, you see, that man passed away when he was even disposed of. We've been neglected. The whole family is neglected. They came to destroy the father of Nkrumah's grave at the cemetery. They demolished everything, which is not good. It's a very sad event. Anytime at all I remember that thing, I shed little tears. And then after, we've been neglected. The whole family is neglected. Look at the place we are now. I feel the government is not even happy about how the man suffered before gaining the independence. Though he didn't do that alone, he was with people. But the people Nkrumah fought with for the independence, they are not, their families are not neglected as we have been neglected. And for that matter, I need not to talk even, but because of courtesy, that's why.
And we are happy that you've taken time to speak to us. We are very grateful for this opportunity. I want you to take your mind back to April 27, 1972, 50 years ago. Where were you when you heard about the passing of Osajifo?
I was in this town. I was preparing to get job. I was that time applying to become a policeman. But in fact, I suffered before getting to the work. And when I went inside there were so many molestations, of which I fell into a trap I didn't know. When the news came about the man's death, the whole family was shocked. Already he had been sacked from the country. He was in exile at Guinea. We can't see him, but we only used to hear his voice on the radio. Then suddenly we heard he has died. The family didn't see the corpse. to do the traditional way we do when someone passes away. At the time when we were about to forget him, before the corpse was brought. And now someone who says, the government says they doesn't like him. He was brought home, buried at Nkrumah, and then he was exhumed to Accra. And now, we don't even get a peswa on what the government get on him. People come to pay before they see the corpse. The corpse and then some items of him. These things, we don't get anything out of it. Look at where we are now. Look at the building even. It does not really show that this is the real house of Nkrumah.
Did he build this building?
You say?
The building that we are in, who built it, this family house?
Okay. Really, the building was for the father, not for Nkrumah himself. It was built for the father, yes. So that time actually I didn't know as to whether it was Nkrumah's own pocket or someone did for him. So I cannot tell you exactly what you want to know from me.
But you are expecting that, what are you expecting the government to do for the family of Kwame Nkrumah?
Okay. That is a good question. Really, we have to be compensated. Our man fought for this thing. Nkrumah himself does not have his own building. The family house at Nkrumah was built by a different person as a dash. So I feel it is the same thing. But the government, you see, when the sheets on the building is spoiled, we suffer. We tire before we get money to roof it. Look at the roofs, the windows of the building. It does not really show that this is the family house of the first president. It is even a shame when someone comes to see that, is that the old man's house? Do you really feel fine when you are here? When you came, were you happy about the building? Mr.
Kafui.
Kafui, were you happy about the building?
I was happy to see you.
Okay, I want the government to come and do something better for the family. See, this place is too small. We have allotted some land for the government to come and construct a new building to indicate that that is the family of Nkrumah.
So you, in your mind, you want you're looking for a way that people can put a bit more respect so that it becomes a tourist attraction for people to come and then the family will also benefit in a way. Is that what you're looking for?
Exactly what I want the government to do, so that whoever sees that thing will see the good work that man did before he was disposed.
Let's move away from the government and look at the man himself who we are celebrating today. What kind of, how do you remember Kwame Nkrumah personally?
Okay. The man was very clean, genuine. See, he does not like cheat. He always wants truth. So, when he was disposed, I really don't see any person whose, reactions resembles him. So we need to work hard to get a better person again for the country.
When was the last time that you actually saw him or spoke with him?
Okay. I was in school when he was disposed. I was at now GHS 3. Yeah, my final year at school when he was disposed of at Nkrumah. When he said he was come to fast for the nation. He came to spend 1 week at Kappa here at his bungalow. He fasted for 7 days before going back to Accra. That was
He used to fast for the nation?
yes. I can't exactly remember the date. He came here almost 1 week.
Was it a national fast or he just fasted by himself?
Himself alone, but he said for Ghana and Africa. Yes. That time the mirror was functioning well. All the pictures were in it.
We don't speak evil of the dead, but if you were to analyze Osajifo and point out some mistakes or some faults, what would those faults or mistakes be?
Really, that time I cannot recollect exactly the exact mistakes he was doing. But what people said was he was detaining people with fire. You see, but one thing is,
Was it not a fact? Was it not a fact?
but when you meet a snake who wants to bite you, what do you do to it? When a snake makes an attempt to bite you, what do you do to the snake?
What would be your reaction if you see a snake that wants to bite you? What would you do?
I'll kill it. So that when an enemy wants to disturb you, you have to get the enemy confined so that you get free to do what exactly you want to do. Is that not so, Mr. Kafui?
What do you say to those who think that he shouldn't have done those things? Shouldn't have?
Okay, I would say they are not genuine people. They don't talk truth. Because no one will let his enemy to go free. When so you see your enemy wants to disturb you, you have to get him off. But he was not killing them, he detains them. So that at a good time when he sees you change, they release you. Nkrumah didn't kill anybody.
But some of them left prison and then they died not too long after.
It depends on what they did. You see, do you remember Nkrumah was bombed several times? At Accra right now, there's a woman who is crippled because of attempt to kill Nkrumah. So such people, when you get them, what will you do to them? Mr. Kafui,
Mr. Bogoro.
what will you do to someone who wants to cut your life short?
I came to interview you in half a senior, now you want to interview me?
No, the fact has to come out, you see. There are certain matters when you talk, the fact has to come out. So that is easy. Most African countries, when people are caught for such actions, they finish them. But Nkrumah doesn't do so.
So today, we're bringing it back to today. Today is 50 years since Nkrumah passed away. Is the family commemorating this day in a way?
Well, we'll do so, but we'll do it within ourselves because we can't do this thing openly, you see. We can't do it openly. The birthday, everything, we used to celebrate it within ourselves. We can't go out and tell somebody, why didn't you do this? It depends. When the government says we should do, we'll do it nationally. But we used to celebrate it.
What are your feelings towards how the legacy of Nkrumah has been handled by various administrations, various governments?
But whatever I have, any feeling I have cannot be exhibited because I don't have means. I don't have means to say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you handle this thing well?
Are you disappointed?
Somehow, because you see, during those days, those our seniors who were leading us, they prepared them well. Before they finish school, they have jobs. You see, they have jobs to do. But now, after we left schools, 1968 up to now, nothing better has been done to anybody. You see.
How relevant do you think Kwame Nkrumah is to the young people of today and the leaders of today?
No, the man is not living. How can he? That question is a little bit difficult to be answered.
Can we learn anything from him?
Really, we can learn something from him for his past activities, and then the seniors who were students during his reigning time. See, they were backed up, they were helped to go forward than this time. See.
What can leaders in Ghana learn from Kwame Nkrumah?
The right ones have to follow his steps. The right leaders now will follow his steps, but the wicked ones will ignore his activities. Oh, look at so many factories he established were neglected. You see an iron getting rotten without greasing. Look at the Bonsa tie factory. Look at a coil factory at our facility here. It is there. When you are ready, we can go and see it. All these things were not taken good care of. You see, sugar factory. There is a bungalow here. Now, when you go there, you'll be sorry. But that place was built by someone. Or at least, if you don't like the man, the building there has to be well furnished so tourists or say visitors to use it. But when you go there, without has to have that thing has.
Are Ghanaians forgetting Kwame Nkrumah?
You see?
Are Ghanaians forgetting Dr. Kwame Nkrumah?
Oh, the right ones have not forgotten him, but the wicked and other people there, I can say they've forgotten him because they don't see the good work that man did. But the right ones, they used to see.
Who are more right now, the right ones or the wicked ones, in terms of numbers, in your mind?
That one they can't tell. That one they can't tell.
We're going to wrap this conversation up with your final thoughts on this day that we mark the 50th anniversary of Kwame Nkrumah's death. What would you say to Ghanaians who are watching? What's the most important thing you want them to take away from this day?
Okay. So many things. Say again.
What do you want Ghanaians to take away from what you've said? What should they remember about Kwame Nkrumah?
I want the young ones who did not hear, who did not see the man, should take some cue from what we are discussing, you see, so that will let them know exactly how the man was.
You are more interested in the young ones than the old ones.
But the old ones, those who saw him can take, but those who didn't see him, that one, they have to take a cue out of what we are saying.
And your message to the wicked ones?
That one, I say, may God change their thoughts.
You paused before you said that. What did you want to say before?
May God change their minds.
Mr. Ezra Bogoro, family head of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, thank you so much for the conversation. I wish you well, and my condolences on the passing of your niece. May she rest in perfect peace.
But my message to the government is he should not forget the pioneers of this nation. At least any good work done needs a favor.
Don't forget the pioneers of the nation. Any good work deserves favor. Medalsi. Thank you very much. That's Mr. Ezra Bogoro. He's the family head of the Kwame Nkrumah's family. We're right here at Hafasini, live on GTV Breakfast, hashtag Hafasini. Stay tuned. We'll give you more from this beautiful town.